It's 1484, we're playing a skyscraper tall plus Colonial Holland. In this part of the run, we will be forming the Netherlands. We just need to finish scoring a couple of provinces that we already own. Consequently, we will be unlocking new missions, which will allow us to subjugate England. Of course, we will be focusing a lot on developing our provinces, developing the crap out of the Low Countries region, and establishing a massive colonial empire, with us starting our first colony in RogueRhino. Your support on the first video has been amazing, and if we get 1,500 likes on this video, I will be doing the third part, in which we will be aiming to get 1,000 income. You might be wondering, how the hell did we expand in 40 years so much as Holland, when these are some of the most valuable provinces in the game and we're in the HRE? Well, everything has its price, right? So we have a tiny coalition. But not to fear, we have some really strong alliances, including our newest alliance with Poland, which has Lithuania as their subject, and in total these guys have around 80,000 units. And this is what our alliance set now looks like. We also have France, Papal State, and Denmark. I really didn't want England to enter the coalition. They haven't entered yet. However, they soon will, because I actually won't declare a war on them. We can prioritize forming the Netherlands, and once we do form it, the coalition will be temporarily dissolved, and that is when we can strike. Now, obviously, if we do form the Netherlands, we will leave the HRE. So we're pretty much locking ourselves out of getting the provinces in Wallonia, but we can take these at a later time. Now, there's a couple more things that we need to do, and we can reduce our war exhaustion. We have some issues with admin efficiency, so we're going to take one of the land right privileges, which is going to allow us to cancel a couple of our cores and core them up cheaper. There we go. Once we unpause the game, we actually lost the reform centralized bureaucracy, which gave us 5% dev cost reduction, and we need to replace it. We can do it for free. However, we're not going to select none of these options yet, because once we form the Netherlands, we will get a unique tier 3 ability. Until we're ready to participate in a war, let's burn our army professionalism, deal with the rebels. And actually, I want to cancel the colonists in RogueRhino and colonize Brazil, because Portugal is not prioritizing it. They're going for the Caribbean, so we can go and establish our own colony down here. Just before we leave this province, we want to make sure that we get rid of the natives. And there we go. With the last pop, we can go ahead and move here. Whoa, that's amazing. Excellent, Minister. Additional army tradition, navy tradition, and mill points will help us out for sure. I actually want to develop our Flemish provinces a little bit, but we might as well wait until we finish the last infrastructure idea, as this is when we get another 10% dev cost reduction, and until we form the Netherlands. And here we go, guys, with our course finished. Form Dutch nation. There we go. We are now the Netherlands. We have to select a new tier 2 reform. We're gonna go with tax modifier, and for tier 3, which we can get for free, we're gonna take 7 provinces, which is a super nice reform, increasing our goods produced modifier, reducing province governing costs, construction costs and time, and giving us 10% dev cost reduction in all primary culture group provinces in the Low Countries region. We, of course, also have new missions. We can get a morale of armies, navy tradition and morale of navies. Northern Renaissance is gonna give us a really good advisor, 75% cheaper, and admin advisor cost reduction. And down here we have an entire branch of missions related to colonizing. Tales of Gold and Spice will increase our colonial range and give us a free explorer. We get additional trade steering and ship trade power propagation from West Indies Company. Now, for these next missions, we need to colonize Caribbean, but this is being colonized by Portugal, so we will probably at some point just take their colonies. And for New Amsterdam, we will need to set up a colony in Manhattan, which we can do shortly. Founding VOC will take place a little bit later as well, because we will need to colonize provinces in India and East Indies. And look at that, boys, everybody's leaving the coalition because we changed the tag, including England, which means we can now participate in this war. The bad thing is that now Portugal is going to join. Before, they were not ready to join, but it shouldn't increase the difficulty too much, because we can also grab additional 10% morale of armies from Bless Ruler ability. And you know what? We can also grab new indebted to the burger loans, which is going to give us quite a bit of money, which we can use to get some additional mercenaries. Maybe let's go with something like the Grand Company. Let's not be too cheap. There we go. We're ready. Come on, boys, make sure to barrage. We want to finish this war as quickly as possible and just go our ways, focus on colonizing. So level 8 is going to be a pretty significant buff with infantry fire. Let's take that. Let's go. Let's see what we can do. We right now have quite a few bonuses, so we have much higher discipline and morale than anybody else in this war. We should be able to destroy pretty massive armies. Okay, this is a wipe of 5,000. They unfortunately did take Paris, but we can take this back quickly. And guys, here we go. We have 10% additional development cost reduction. Let's promote Flemish culture and develop these provinces a little bit more. This 21 development province costs us 21 points to develop. And we're not even using the burgers bonus, which we can probably still get. Yeah, so there we go. We just need to build a marketplace in Amsterdam. You stepped to the wrong province, Austria. That's what you're gonna get. And England actually left the siege, which is a good thing. They're locked, which means we're going to fight here. And we have the support of the French soldiers. So England is getting their asses kicked. There we go, Burgundy. You wanna die as well. Let's make your wish come true. And here we go. We have a 10% dev cost reduction from burgers. Expand infrastructure for 30 points. It's 9 points to develop a 21 dev province. That's right. This is absolutely crazy. And here we go, by developing a few more provinces, we managed to finish cloth trading, which is going to give us all provinces in Low Countries region trade value modifier from 20 to 30% depending on the culture. You know what, I think we can take a second to build a few more of these VOC ships, and maybe let's get a flagship as well. We can make this a light ship, additional movement speed, additional trade power. We have this unique one, Dutch Courage, which increases fleet morale by 10%, but we're gonna use this navy basically for transporting units and trading, so let's get additional integrated marines too. Let's see this experiment. Will England abandon a 57% siege to protect his boys? I think they won't be abandoning it. Yep, that's right. That's a free wipe, and we can go for this stack as well. Completely demolishing everybody. And boys, here we go. We can switch our primary culture to Flemish. This is gonna become super important once we can complete the mission Cities of the Low Countries. Austria doesn't want to take part in this war any longer, which means we can take full money from them, war reparations, and even end their alliance with England. Dude, this advisor is actually sick. He's level 4 for 4 ducats. Actually, let's just max him out. Incredible. And yeah, so let's not be too greedy this time. We can finish this early. Let's take 500 ducats, our war target, and war reparations. There we go. We are now finally free to start colonizing, playing tall. So let's see if before our truce runs out, we can grow our development to match England's development, which is 509. We have so much money right now, and we're getting 10 ducats monthly from war reparations. Yeah, let's begin building some stuff. We can definitely start with some churches, just max them out in our entire nation. We can also start declaring some wars, starting with Potiguara, and even on Jolov, which we made a couple of claims on. There we go. And what do we got here? We have at least 3 provinces with at least 20 dev and 3 buildings, which means we have Low Countries universities giving us 50 of each monarch points, and our most developed province in Low Countries will get a university. So for this next one, we need to grow our innovativeness to 50. We're on track for that. We have 35. Oh, come on, man. That's such a bad timing. We have 17,000 rebels that are about to spawn in Gelre and Friesland. Dude, all of our troops are in Africa, man. Okay, we're coming back. So there we go. We can finish this war and take all 3 provinces, which is amazing. And we can pretty much do this every 20 years. They will keep migrating. We can take more stuff. We just need one more colony here, and we will have our first colonial nation. That's quite a bit of money that we can take from the African nations. Always nice. And finally, guys, there we have it. Full annexation of Jolov. Now, we're definitely going to concentrate some development here wherever we can and enter some provinces into the trade company, especially the ones with additional trade power like the one in Senegal Estuary. Other than that, pretty much just trade centers. Love it, man. 17 development province Utrecht costs 5 points to develop. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Let's spend a ton of mill points and admin points as we have these laying around pretty much. And perhaps even sell titles to get 1.2 thousand ducats. We're still up to 33% crownlands, and we can use this money to continue investing in our nation, upgrade our centers of trade up to level 2s, get some barracks going on. Now this is pretty damn important because we have been running low on manpower. Check this out, boys. That's a pretty damn nice improvement from what we had in the first video. This is getting real green. All of these provinces are pretty much 30 dev now. Land reclamation is gonna distribute 5 additional diplo development, and we will get 20% local construction cost reduction and local production efficiency plus 10% for 20 years. Time for some new colonies. Recall this one. And now let's make a colony next to Congo because our colonial range has increased. We have been building spy network on these guys, which of course means that we can make claims and we will be able to start a war with them. And this is pretty damn good. We have the Center of International Economy. We get 2 base stacks in Antwerpen, and if it has a level 2 center of trade, then also 2 additional base space production, and it does have it. So there we go, 34 dev. Oh, France, you need 128 ducats. How inconvenient, because I've just spent all of our money, but I'm still gonna accept though. With a tier 4 government reform, I think we can go with maintain balance of power to get additional diplomat, always useful. Maybe there are some nations that we can still make leave the coalition, and this could help us a little bit as well. We can take additional 10% improved relations bonus. That's a pretty damn decent event. Architectural development, 100 of each monarch points, and it only costs 300 ducats. Yes, please. We're just around 60 development away from England, but our truce is gonna expire in a few months, so we need to be very quick. Whoa, okay, now we actually get this in a really good province. This is gonna be massive for trade. And this we can pretty much cut a little bit of short. We're gonna come back later. For now, just concentrate and core it up. We now have more development. We just need to increase our navy strength in these next couple of months. And we are still building some ships. And we got it. And our truce expired this month, so this was very close. Restoration of Union Casus Belli on England is here. Thank you very much for that. And obviously we're not waiting a second longer because they could enter the coalition as soon as the next day. We're just gonna declare it. Get our troops back from here, and then we can start fighting. Okay, we're gonna need to get some mercenaries. We have a little bit of a rebel problem, and our manpower isn't great, so independent army will do for now. Oh man, that's a really good advisor. So when it comes to Portugal, in this war I want to take one province, and that would be Ceuta, so that we can start expanding in the Maghreb, fight Morocco, fight Tunis. While we're sieging it down, we can go ahead and finish our last exploration idea, and of course we now have our first policy. It's colony development boost. So while it is the age of discovery, we're gonna get 6 additional development in each of our colonies because we also have a higher developed colonies bonus. Obviously this is not gonna last for much longer as it's already 1500, but even in the next stage we're gonna get a free development in all of our new colonies, which is still really good. There we go, just give us Ceuta and money, you can leave. Our first naval battle with England, and our ships are much stronger at this point. We are dominating them. Get destroyed. What do we got here? We have the supremacy in the channel, which will now give us 25 diplo points for the center of trade provinces that we have in the English channel. And we also get a skill 2 trader, 50% cheaper. The missions just don't end. We also now have over 60 loyalty for clergy, and we have 4 privileges granted to them, which will give us 100 admin power. Immediately we also have access to Dutch humanism, and we get tolerance of heretics, innovativeness gain plus 50%, and 1 additional innovativeness. Oh my god, what's up with these missions, man? There's more. Influx of immigrants. The enforced interfaith dialogue burghers privilege no longer gives a malus on clergy loyalty. Not like it matters because we're maxed out here. Alright, when it comes to our parliament debates, let's focus on colonizing. So we're gonna grab an additional colonist and settlers for next 10 years. This is so cheap and it's really cool. So now in the province of Friesland, we not only have the birth of a new city, we obviously have the 7 provinces organization, but also the birth of colonialism as well, and it gets major colonial port with additional trade power, and we get all of these amazing benefits with monarch points, gov reform progress, and prestige. Dude, I was just gonna say, our ruler is 66, and I was 100% going to gamble, enforce the union, and hope that our ruler doesn't die. And fortunately, we actually have an election, and we don't need to take this risk. So if we strengthen the status, it's still going to be orangists in control. We can definitely take this amazing ruler with 12 total stats. We don't need to push for anything else. If we wanted to be really greedy, we could take some centers of trade, but I actually don't want to ruin our borders. So I'm gonna leave everything to England, but that is something that you can definitely take in your game if, for example, you don't have a bad situation with aggressive expansion like us. There we go, guys. We enforce the union. Now, one thing we need to do is just improve relations. That's it. If we have positive relations with them, at least 0, then they won't be able to break away. Immediately, we will be losing the alliance with France, which was expected. Of course, we want to search for new allies, and in our case, it would be Venice or Hungary pretty much. And I honestly think we can ally Venice, even though they are not fond of the papal state. We will be switching our religion at the earliest convenience, so we don't really care about keeping high relations with the Pope. And about the missions, glorious revolution, guys. The second option in this event is a total bait. You don't want to go for it because we don't care about 25% integration costs. We will be going for the first option, which means we are able to recruit man-of-war ships, and we get a level 3 naval reformer 75% cheaper. Now guys, let's go and spam forts. We need tons of forts, and that is for one specific mission. I honestly will probably even sell titles. 43%, we can get back 5, and we still have 38%. We had a couple of loans, so we can eliminate that. And we can even start upgrading some of our monuments, such as Amsterdam Bourse. Let's get this to at least a level 1 right now. From here guys, we will pretty much focus a lot on colonizing and developing our provinces. And of course defeating the rebels. We will be having quite a few rebel factions. Need to take care of that, otherwise they're going to reset the provinces. Pretty much they will keep spawning unless we demolish them before they get any occupations. We can have so many of these marines right now. I'm gonna spam them. And this is the event that I was talking about in the first video, guys. Constitutionalism and the general estates allows you to change your government type. You can become a republic or stadtholder monarchy. There's actually not that many differences between these two. If you notice, the reform modifiers are a bit different. The monarchy means you don't lose stability on monarch death, and with the republic you get more maximum absolutism. For now, we're just going to keep our government because we already switched to stadtholder monarchy. And here we go guys, we are colonizing North America, specifically Manhattan, and we have the mission in New Amsterdam completed, which will give us some additional development there. Alright, there we go, we have a free colonist. We can begin colonizing the southern tip of Africa, Cape. A very important province. And a cool thing about Cape is that once your colonists arrive, pretty much immediately add the province to your trade company and you get a merchant. And speaking about colonizing, we have established Colonial Brazil, our first colonial nation. We're going to make this a self-governing colony because this way they get an extra colonist, which means they can expand faster. Excellent, Minister. Indeed I am. Indeed I am. 100 mil points. Thank you very much. Now we're hunting for a defensive advisor. Let's kick these two out. Actually, you go out of here as well. There we go. Fort defense level 2. And this means that we have access to fixed garrisons. We were building forts for this and we got the advisor. Now every province in Low Countries that has a fort gets a local development cost minus 5%, local production efficiency, and fort defense plus 10%. And should we ever complete defensive ideas, these modifiers will be doubled. So we can take our time, unlock whatever ideas we want to prioritize, and later on get defensive, and we will get some additional buffs. I wouldn't say that as Holland or Netherlands it's worth to like rush defensive ideas. I think there are better ones, especially if you're playing a colonial game. Maybe if you're playing solely just development game, then you could get something like infrastructure defensive. But obviously for our colonies we want to go with exploration and expansion. Oh boy, Protestantism is enabled. Now we don't really care about that. We are waiting for reformed religion to show up. Dude, come on, they're declaring wars on our colony. Will you guys knock it off? We gotta enforce peace. This will happen and we can pretty much avoid this. It's actually a good reminder. To make our colonial nations richer and more powerful, we're going to give them subsidies. With our current income, we can definitely afford to give them like 10 ducats monthly for 10 years. Sure, let's do it. There you go, boys, have fun. And obviously because of the mission that we completed, we're continuing to spam forts in every province that doesn't have it. It's just that good to have all forts. These modifiers cannot be beaten. And we have a few diplo points. Before I also forget this, let's switch some of our cultures to Flemish. This also means in the future we will get additional buffs. Alright, truce with Jenny is done. This seems like a pretty easy war. They have a couple of nice centers of trade, so we can start that up. And then we will have access to Timbuktu, which is allied with Morocco. We can probably fight them too. And yeah, basically these next years, apart from colonizing provinces, establishing colonial nations, fighting wars in Africa, we're gonna go around Africa, reach Kilva. From there we can go colonize this small little island next to the Maldives, get a claim, and eventually reach India, where we can establish the commercial enterprise added in 1.37. And speaking of the commercial enterprise, because we discovered provinces in India subcontinent, here we go, founding the VOC mission is done. And this is the mission that enables the decision for us to establish it. There we go, we have a new hope. We get some additional base production, manpower, and tax in the Cape. We get settler chance and colonial range. Very nice. And this is the natural decision that allows establishing the VOC. We just need 4 provinces in India super region and grant estate privilege VOC. I believe it's for burghers. So to get the space for it, we just need to eliminate our loans. Oh wait, we have another one. But this one can actually wait because it will give us 200 splendor. So we can use that in the next age. This one is ending in 100 months. Looks like we have at least 50 light ships now, and we have an admiral, at least level 7 diplo technology. This mission is going to enable 2 new privileges, and which one we get really depends on what we want to achieve. Do we want to get more trade power? We get the maximized cargo space then. If we want to make our ships, the VOC ships I should specify, stronger, then we get diversify the flutes, increasing ship cannons and hull size. I think eventually we will be just getting maximized cargo space. And if we want to fight naval battles in the future with, let's say, like Castile, Portugal, honestly, I think we're good without that privilege. We can get manowar heavy ships, and they already have naval morale damage plus 15%. Okay, so England has some problems with rebels, and the good thing is that we can take them out, and we can this way improve our relations with them. We'll get to positive relations a bit faster this way. We could also send them gifts, but I don't think it's really necessary. That's something I would have done if we didn't have a young ruler. There we go, guys. Only 355 decades for us to enable colonialism, as it has spread to quite a few of our most valuable provinces. And we have level 9s. Soon we will be able to unlock another idea group. Oh, come on, man. These vultures. Everybody attack Jenny. We need to make sure that we get at least some of these provinces. Oh, everybody wants colonialism, and it seems Venice is offering us the most money. You can have it. Timbuktu immediately entered the coalition. I see how it is. Well, that just means that we need to start a war with Morocco. I love it. While Tunis and Morocco are focusing just one province, we are basically infiltrating them from 2 fronts. Here we go, we can siege down Tafilal, and we're sieging down Tunis forts. We have better ships. It's time to upgrade them. More trade power, always welcome. And here we go, guys. We have a maximum war score. We can take their entire coast. Nobody will be able to get a piece of that, well, except for Tunis, who is probably not going to attack them. That's how I like it. We have a couple of new centers of trade, which we can once again enter to our trade companies. Regarding colonies, we're now making our 4th colony in Colombia, and we're also gonna declare a war on Arawak, which is going to be the 5th province, and we will have our 2nd colonial nation before Castile was able to establish it. Damn, I didn't realize this, but this is actually going to be over 100% overextension. Well, this is going to be quite a few rebels then. Oh yeah, that's because we couldn't finish the score. Stupid rebels, man. I hate them. Actually, I want to culture convert more of our stuff so we can take assimilation and settlement policy. I love how we have all the solutions in our parliament. There we go, that's much better costs. Alright, so our truce with England ran out. We haven't been able to reduce their liberty desire too much, it's 75%. So what we're gonna do for now is enable support loyalists down to 55. And one remaining thing we can do is develop some of their cheapest provinces. It's only a few points to develop really. There we go, we can keep them at around 45 for now. Dude, I love how Netherlands have tons of events like Erasmus. We're getting 100 diplo points out of thin air. And a skill-free advisor 50% cheaper. Oh, how the turns have tabled. Our self-governing colony is now declaring wars. A lovely sight to see. That's right, once you give them subsidies, they definitely make a bigger army and they're more confident. And guys, there we go. It's the age of reformation. Without waiting for anything, let's grab our 200 Splendor. Patronage of the Arts Burgers privilege is upgraded. We don't really care about that because we're not gonna use it anyways. Okay, as we're still waiting for reformed religion, we can grab levy church tax, use this modifier for the last time construction cost. Way too many points, boys, way too many points. Since we're already converting this province, we can go ahead and start developing this like crazy with mill points. Dude, this is actually starting to look really nice, green as a garden. And if we check the province development ledger and sort by development in provinces, the highest developed province is still Constantinople with 42 development, so we need to surpass these guys. But apart from that, in this first page, we're clearly dominating. We have 7 of our provinces in here. Oh, I never noticed that Tuscany was formed. Hey, that's cool. Alright boys, we're gonna take this a tiny bit ahead of time. Level 10s for all technologies, to be honest, because we're going to unlock our third idea group and it's going to be expansion. Here we go, let's immediately grab an additional colonist, and we also get tolerance of heretics plus 3. With you, my friend, we're going to colonize this province right next to Kilva. I want their gold mines, but it's such an annoying war, man. They allied half of the world apparently. The expansive Dutch economy has put large demands on our merchant marine, and Holland until the end of the game gets transport cost minus 10% and local shipbuilding time minus 10%, as well as some innovativeness. Dutch shipbuilding industry. Hey, that's nice. Everybody's also leaving the coalition because they finally recognize that we are peaceful traders. Okay, Timbuktu, this truce is done. You can remove a couple of these boys from the coalition, which is nice. Let's go. Remove from the coalition. More like I'm just going to full annex them. We have to beat the Ottomans with the development, right? We just have to. We're going to develop Den Haag a couple more times. There we go. It's 42 or 20, baby. I would also love to just quickly deal with Lunda. Could just full annex him and get a white peace with Congo. Or honestly, we can even co-belligerent. Okay, let's just finish this war first. We're definitely gonna do another one versus Congo then. How beautiful is that, boys? How beautiful is that? Dutch Northern Africa, just how it's supposed to be. Once again, we have a couple more centers of trade, so enter them. And we have issues with admin efficiency, but this time we can rely on courthouses. Oh, there we go. We have reformed religion. Let's go ahead and switch right now. We actually will get 1,500 ducats from this too. So this is amazing. Now guys, if you're not familiar with the reformed religion bonuses, which I wouldn't be surprised if you're not, as this is not a very common pick, I would say, but it's really good for the Netherlands. We have fervor points, which we gain 3.36 monthly, and we can actually increase this by 1 by becoming the Defender of Faith. This will also grant us an additional missionary. We have trade, war, stability, diplomacy buttons, and essentially we can enable as many of these as we want at once. They will cost us fervor points, which are capped at 100, and it's very situational. Let's say you're participating in a difficult war, you might want to use your fervor points to get additional morale of armies and navies. If you're developing provinces, going for a development spree like we're going for very frequently in this game, then we can enable stability, and this reduces dev cost by 10%. This one is amazing. And you have other bonuses such as improved relations, you have trade efficiency. Now let's set up our autonomous missionaries and let's start converting all of our provinces. Damn, okay, this upset England a little bit that we switched religion. We need these guys to be loyal. We will have to develop them, unfortunately. A good way of keeping them at bay would be also to just bump up our army, get more units. And honestly, I think it's going to be way to go for us to start building regimental camps so we can have a higher army, and in such it will be easier to handle England. Oh boy. Okay, let's not forget these buttons that we have in the decisions tab. This is gonna greatly increase missionary strength for us. Some of these bonuses are also gonna give us tolerance of heretics, which is cool. Okay, so we no longer need a papal state. We're gonna get rid of this alliance because otherwise Venice wouldn't wanna keep this one with us. Maybe we can have some new allies. Let's see. Yeah, not that many options. And here we go, guys. We have our second colonial nation, Dutch Columbia. Once again, self-governing colony. We're going for aggressive strat this game. Immediately, we're funding them. We're rich as hell, so we can afford to give them 10 ducats for 10 years. Oh no, it's the end of golden era. Whatever will we do about that? Oh yeah, that's right. We have good in you, which is a mission that will allow us to start a new golden era. Eventually, we will get it. First, we need monthly income of at least 400. And we're so ahead of time. We have so many diplo points. How about we enable stability points, focus, and develop our lowest debt province with 11 development. After expanding infrastructure at 15, it costs 16 points. This is an absolute steal as always. Oh, thank God, man. I hate this event, but we are near the next government reform, so we can actually wait it out without losing government reform progress. I love when it happens. There we go. This is fantastic. We can upgrade our marines with another 10% marines force limit and a couple of other bonuses, including ships being able to repair themselves when in coastal sea zones. We don't need to put them to bay. And after we got a couple more marines, we have at least 20 of them, which means we can do the regiment, the marine mission. We get elite naval infantry, plus 20% marines force limit. We also get the Black Devil's privilege for burghers, increasing the marines landfire damage and shock damage received at the cost of 10% of the force limit if we want to. If we only had space, boys. I mean, we can get rid of one of the nobility privileges. Hopefully later we can also get rid of the burghers ones. I mean, after we sell titles, we will get rid at least of one. Alright, one more conquest done. And how good is that? We have Dutch Congo. Pretty much the entire area. Congo itself is left with one province. We also have Kikondia, Chokwi. Don't care about these boys. Oh my goodness, these events are just superb, man. 1,300 decades, just like that. Gold and diamonds. Honest pray for honest work. That's right. Oh my god, that's a lot of rebels. That's the one thing about colonial gameplay. If you conquer too much, these are, you know, different religions, different cultures, there's going to be a ton of rebels. We pretty much need a bigger army, then we don't need to worry about it so much because we would be able to put like one stack in each region and make them autonomously hunt down the rebels for us. But right now, it is a bit of a disaster. And hey, what do we have here? We have at least 10 provinces in Low Countries region with 5 buildings, which means we have a Dutch Baroque architecture. And now our artist advisors will give 2.5% construction cost reduction per level. Not only that, but we get a skill-free artist 75% cheaper. This is going to be amazing, so we can just hire this guy. And we already have 10% construction cost reduction with him being level 4. Also guys, I forgot to mention, because we have infrastructure ideas, we also can expand administration much cheaper. It only costs 1 point at the first time, so we can do this at least a couple of times. It does scale up, it's now 4 and 8, but that's quite a bit of gardening capacity for a very low cost. We need to trade in Ivory Coast, so we're gonna colonize the Gold Coast and Cape Coast. And this is going to be enough, I'm pretty sure, because we need just 2 centers of trade with level 2. Damn, boys, we have France colonizing next to us. Not sure how I feel about that, but these guys are not in the coalition. Remember, we don't have aggressive expansion with them. So if we wanted to, hey, maybe it's actually a good thing that they gonna colonize, because later on we're just gonna steal everything. There we go, guys. We can actually pick our first Age of Reformation bonus, and we're gonna go with war score cost versus other religions. At this time, we're already fighting quite a few different religions, including in the Africa fetishists. We also have totemists in North America, as we just completed a conquest, and we're definitely gonna go after Ichizi once we get them out of the coalition. Hey, so we probably had this for a while. I didn't notice, but we can now find the East Indian Company. Well, not technically, but we are colonizing a province right here. So there we go. We get +1 merchant and global trade power +5% and colonial range +25%. Nice bonus. Maldives is ours. There we go. Originally a Chinese beverage, tea quickly became the new Dutch national drink after its introduction in Netherlands. Mixed with sugar, it is consumed by the rich, the poor, and even the stadtholder. 440 ducats, 20 prestige, that's pretty damn good. Our first self-governing colony, we have established a massive colonial empire, guys. England is super loyal at this point. We have tons of trade companies. Right now we're making nearly 90 ducats from trade, and at this pace I think we can easily get 1000 at around 1600s. So remember guys, 1,500 likes and we do the third part, in which we would definitely declare a war on Kilwa, take some of these gold mines. We will be starting our wars in India and establish the VOC there. As we have a gateway through the Maldives, we made a claim on Koti and we can attack them. Our further plans regarding colonies will be to establish some in the East Indies. We're definitely gonna colonize the province of Halmahera, because then we will be able to vassalize one of either Ternate or Tidori and they will colonize for us. And somewhere in Micronesia we also have a monument which increases settlers, so we will grab that. Basically, yeah, the plan is to continue colonizing, continue playing tall, and let's talk a bit more about playing tall, guys. Look at that, man. We have forts in every single province, and because we completed the mission of fixed garrisons, we are getting additional benefits with development cost reduction. Our fourth idea group is going to be defensive, so we can get another 5% dev cost reduction. And regarding development, look at that. This is a beautiful, beautiful green garden that we have. Check the ledger, man. We have the highest developed province with 44 development in Den Haag. We have a bunch of 35, 34, 30 plus essentially development provinces. The game is going really well. We have a nice ruler. We have over 1,500 development. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A massive thank you for supporting the channel to Tier 2 members Biologist, Lazar, RogueRhino, Tier 3 member Devertion, and Patreon supporters Lazar and Nikolas. Really appreciate you guys.